Good morning, everyone. We'll get started on the D&J Seeds Winter Agronomy Update number 3. So this morning we're going to talk about seed treatment, specifically soybean seed treatments. I'm going to break this into 2 parts, so you'll get one part this week and 1 part next week. Today we're going to focus on fungicides, insecticides, biologicals, inoculants, and dry seed finishers, as well as some application processes and rates. So soybean seed treatment, is there really a difference? They're green, they're pink, they're orange, they're blue, they're red, they're treated. What's the difference? So we're going to take a look at some different active ingredients and talk a little bit about the application process that can differentiate some products from certain applicators. So Lumigen seed treatments are what will be provided on your Pioneer soybeans from us. This is a great slide here breaking apart the different components. So really the premium package components that include the fungicides and biologicals. So our Lumicina, which is the standard in the industry now for Phytophthora, Evergoal Energy, our L2030G biofungicide. We also have a insecticide we carry, which is Gaucho, and then additional components Olivo we'll hit on in the next video, and the inoculant 120 extender. So this chart breaks out the fungicide components that are in Lumigen, as well as the components of other competitor seed treatment formulations. So you'll see the Lumicina, Evergoal, and the L2030G biofungicide. One thing to notice is these green circles. If it's a solid green circle, it indicates control. If it's a green circle with an asterisk, it's suppression. So this L2030 biofungicide has suppression of Rhizoctonia and Fusarium, but not complete control. We run for Phytophthora the Lumicina product, which is, in my opinion, the best product available on the market, as well as the metalaxyl for Pythium. So you can run a higher rate of metalaxyl and pick up Phytophthora control. We run the lower rate of metalaxyl, which controls Pythium, and then add in the Lumicina for the Phytophthora. You'll see some other companies just run the higher rate of metalaxyl, which does give you some Phytophthora control. So the Cruiser Max Vibrance seed treatment system would be primarily used by the ChemChina or Syngenta group. Acceleron is going to be Bayer, Asgrow, Channel, and then the generic example is what some retail locations will run a generic or have a generic option. So it just breaks out the different modes of action, different chemical products, and then the control. So just a way to differentiate the different systems. So I talked a little bit about Lumicina and the Phytophthora protection and why it's kind of the best product out there for Phytophthora. It mostly has to do with the ability of that product to move within the roots. So unlike metalaxyl, which actually just moves up in the plant once it's taken into the plant, it has upward mobility in the plant. So as the roots grow down, there isn't any active ingredient in the roots. So if they hit Phytophthora pockets or come into contact with Phytophthora lower in the soil profile, those roots really don't have any protection versus the Lumicina. So I really like this graphic. It just illustrates the different diseases that can affect soybeans and soybean seedlings, and the temperature and soil conditions that those diseases thrive in. So the Pythium, 50 to 59 degrees, cold moist soil. Fusarium, 57 to 73, cold moist soils. Phytophthora, 77 to 86, warm saturated soil. And the Rhizoctonia in a higher soil temperature, 77 to 85, in a dry unsaturated soil. So every spring I get a lot of questions on, and people when we get later in the spring, Typically when planting conditions do get better, people start to question the need for fungicides or any type of seed treatment. This graphic really illustrates the fact that certain diseases thrive in different atmosphere, in different soil conditions. So thinking you're protected just because the soil's temperature is warmer isn't always the case. So these are some pictures I took over in Freeborn County a couple of years ago. You can see this image on the right. I'm standing between two rows of soybeans. The row on the right is some Pioneer soybeans treated with Pioneer Seed Treatment. On the left is a competitor soybean treated with a competitor seed treatment. So what's going on here is these soybeans were infected with Pythium. I did send samples into our lab, and that was verified with Pythium. Pythium can cause this crook, or this where the soybean emerges out of the soil, to actually completely rot through, and this soybean won't survive. This one here you can see is scarred up. It'll likely survive, but it just has a lot of scarring from the Pythium. So it does really, one, it reduces stand to, it reduces early season vigor in between the two soybeans. So our gaucho insecticide, really what we're targeting there is the bean leaf beetle, which you can see in this image here, which is usually, it's an early season insect problem, typically more in no-till soybeans or soybeans along, CRP or kind of brushy areas. Then seed corn maggot is another insect that's controlled. And then we do get some early season aphid control and suppression. I target it more as probably an aphid suppression than anything. If we've got two soybean fields side by side and one's got treated soybeans and one has untreated, and we have a summer where we have significant aphid pressure, typically those treated soybeans will make it another 7 to 10 days without being infested. But that can always change. Aphids aren't really reliable, but it does seem to give us a longer window without reaching threshold levels. 120 inoculant plus the extender. So the reason it's called 120 is it actually survives or can survive on the seed for 120 days with seed treatment. Before it's planted, so basically if it's treated into a tender or a box or sits in a planter hopper, it can survive on the seed for 120 days and still be viable. It's a rhizobium inoculant that helps improve nitrogen fixation within the soybean. So it takes 380 pounds of N to create 100 bushel soybeans, and it's thought that you can produce 300 pounds of nitrogen through fixation alone. So it's really an important part of the soybeans' ability to create yield. So it's relatively inexpensive, so it's mostly included on all seed treatment offerings. The dry seed finisher, we added this product last year to really no added cost. The reason we added it is it improves the handling, flowability, and appearance of the seed. It really helps with any sticking, bridging, or buildup of residue. So for our own treating equipment, it really helps. It also allows it to flow better out of seed tenders and boxes, or even within planter bulk hoppers. It does not replace talc or graphite, so even though the seed flows better and it does not actually lubricate any meters or anything like that. So if you still need talc and graphite for that type of thing, you will need to add that. It won't replace that, but the seed will flow better in equipment. So application accuracy, this is really critical to the whole seed treatment process. I included on this slide here just a couple of rates. So like Evergo Energy is 0.5 fluid ounces per unit, so that's per bag. Lumicina is 0.284 fluid ounces per unit. Gaucho's 0.8. So you're looking at really low volumes of liquid that needs to be applied to the seed. So any miscalibration or being off can really alter the how well or how good a control you have to certain diseases. These are actually photos from our treater. Some of you have seen it, some of you have not. So each one of these liquid stands has a scale on it. Here's the scale. So we'll put a keg of Abergol, then Olivo, then Gaucho, then this is our biofungicide and Lumicina and inoculant. So each product is metered out and pumped separately, and it all goes off a loss of weight. So as the seed is flowing into the treater, the computer knows how fast to run the pump based off of loss of weight. Those products are pumped up into this static mixer, which is similar to what's on some direct inject system for sprayers before it enters in and is applied to the seed. And then this is our dried seed finisher applicator. So this is an auger system, and it's all metered in to the drum and then mixed before it's discharged. So application accuracy is incredibly important. I actually get reports after every batch we run, and I can get the liquid accuracy between 98 and 102% on basically every batch of treated seed. So keep that in mind when you're getting soybeans treated, to make sure that the product you're paying for is actually getting applied to the seed. Any questions, concerns, or ideas for future topics, feel free to reach out to me. I will also add we do custom application of seed treatments. So if you have competitor beans or non-pioneer soybeans you'd like Lumigen seed treatment on, we can certainly do that for you, either through boxes or jumbo bags or in bulk. We can rebox them or deliver them in bulk to you if needed. So if anybody has any questions regarding that, feel free to reach out as well. Other than that, have a great day, and we'll look forward to putting another video together next week. Thank you.